Man, I don't know what we're doing today, man. It's time to get canceled. It is Naruto versus Luffy. I hope you guys are ready. Are you ready?
I was born ready, man. But what are we talking about? Like, what's really the rules here? What's the parameters?
We're going to talk about Gear 5 Luffy. We have to take Luffy in his strongest form, and you know we got to bring up Naruto. Now, I've heard a lot of things. People saying Kurama Chakra Mode, third version, is Naruto's most powerful form. It's even stronger than the Baryon Mode. Should we talk about both of them? Talk about one? Other?
It's only right. It's only right.
All right, man.
Talk about both.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
All right, so you know we got to talk about the abilities of both Naruto and Luffy, right? Who has better abilities? Well, Naruto has a Rasen Shuriken. He has incredible chakra reserves. So he's already going to be fighting for a very long time. We know he has access to Nine-Tails chakra. He can summon thousands of shadow clones. He also has planetary Rasengan. He can also use Biju Bomb, Sage of Six-Path Senjutsu. Naruto's elite. Luffy's abilities.
Luffy's abilities are almost limitless by the word of the Gorosei. The only thing that limits him is his imagination. For one, Ryu can destroy you from the inside. He doesn't even need to touch you while using Conquerors or advanced Ryu while fighting with his Haki. We know what the Gear 5 abilities are: turning the things around him into rubber, turning his opponents into rubber, becoming bigger than a Kaido, which I would confidently say is probably just as big as Kurama. We know that with the Conqueror's Haki, even though we are saying Haki and Chakra is effective, we know that Haki does have more weight in the One Piece world than Chakra does in the Naruto world. Anybody can use Chakra. Children can use Chakra, but not everybody can use Haki. Only those who have trained and manifested and have really locked it in can do it, and that's why it's so
well, on an elite level. At least when you're talking about Conquerors.
Even armament is not known to the majority of the pirates in the first half of the Grand Line, whereas they teach it to elementary kids in Naruto's world. But I mean, yes, like you said, Naruto does have all those strong abilities.
He's not great in Genjutsu, but in Taijutsu, Ninjutsu, especially Senjutsu, Naruto excels.
You could say the same thing with all of Luffy's types of Haki, right? Observation, seeing into the future. We know that Naruto's Senjutsu does have a limit. It only was able to kind of triumph over Jigen when he went into his Baryon mode. When he was trying to use his Senjutsu to see Jigen, him nor Sasuke could even stop the man when he shrunk. Luffy's observation could do more than that. He could see into the future. He could fight with his eyes closed.
I agree on the aspect of Luffy having Conqueror's Haki infusion. And we know with the advanced Conqueror's Haki, as you said, it's kind of working like a Ryuo, but with Conqueror's Haki. So that is also going through. Luffy does not even have to land an attack directly on Naruto to really inflict damage on him. But on the flip side, Naruto does have access to some great chakra natures, because we've seen his lava style, wind style, so many different things. He's changing the chakra nature of the Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken, and a lava style Rasen Shuriken was able to stop a 10-Tails Madara as well as the Divine Tree. He does have different abilities in the fact that his Rasen Shuriken can destroy your body at a cellular level.
But Luffy was dealing with Logias before the time skip. You know, Kizaru, fighting against Akainu, Kuzan. He was dealing with a multitude of people who have better control over the elements than Naruto's Rasengans, and this was before it even got down to the wire. I mean, for me, I think that Luffy does have better abilities in Gear 5. I do.
Where am I sticking with this? I think from a Pax perspective, right? Because we're not talking about strength or anything as of yet. I think Gear 5 definitely gives Luffy a little more of an advantage against Naruto in this situation. Naruto has more versatility, I believe, than Luffy. But Gear 5 specifically, the fact that it can change Luffy's body, it can change the environment, and it can change Naruto himself is something different. All right, so now we got to talk about battle IQ. I'm just going to start off by saying I'm giving this to Naruto. I believe that Luffy fights with the will to try to overcome his enemies. But I think when you're talking about using techniques strategically, Naruto is really the one that I've seen on a day in and day out basis, really finding out and figuring out his opponents. Luffy on the other side will fight a battle knowing that he does not have a strategy already.
I think battle IQ doesn't always necessarily mean battle strategy. I think it could also mean how well you perform in the battle in general. Spoke on Naruto's ability to, I guess, be flexible, right? To be able to understand what his opponent's doing and what he needs to do.
Right, like Madara's limbo clones.
Right.
Those are something that he can't see, and he used Kurama style to sense where Madara's limbo clones are. Even though he couldn't see them, he was still able to sense them and react and make moves based off that.
And then Naruto does have a good track record as well of having battle IQ, even as a child against Neji. But I also think we're kind of underplaying Luffy's battle IQ as well, because Luffy progresses during every single fight that he does. So yes, you could give that to Naruto, but I also feel like in Luffy's world, compared to everybody else, I feel like his battle IQ is pretty great. And I think Naruto's battle IQ is a little better as well.
Yes.
But I just...
It is. Because let's be honest, Luffy lost to Kaido multiple times.
Absolutely.
He ended up winning, but if Yamato did not step into the fray at some points, if Momonosuke didn't become a distraction for Kaido, if certain other things weren't happening, he would have just been killed by Kaido. Yeah. So yes, Luffy's Gear 5 form, incredible, and that was able to overcome Kaido. But him using his battle IQ to get to there, I think Naruto would come in with a different approach, as we've seen against opponents like Madara.
But I mean, as we know, Naruto really hasn't had to use much battle IQ even before he became the Hokage. As soon as he got a handle on Kurama's chakra, it was pretty much a wrap. The most he had to do in terms of thinking was, I feel like, against Madara. Even against Sasuke, I feel like he just kind of overpowered Sasuke.
It's time to talk about durability. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I'm going with Monkey D. Luffy on this one. We can talk about how Luffy had his pain in the Thriller Bark arc given to Zoro, and Zoro literally almost died on that day. We've seen Luffy tank attacks from Kaido and literally eat them with Gear 5, literally reshaping his body to Kaido's weapon, bouncing off of the ground, allowing his Conqueror's Haki, his Armament Haki to tank attacks from Katakuri, to tank attacks from Kaido, to tank attacks from Big Mom's army when he fought 100 people all at once. Luffy's durability is insane, and I won't say that Naruto does not have great defense, great durability, but I'm just going with Luffy.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much spelled out, right? I mean, between getting stabbed in the fight with Katakuri, getting just literally tossed around, and still being the one on top to defeat Katakuri, and then even when Katakuri got back up, still ready to fight again. Right? I mean, let's not forget he died. Kaido and Cypher Pole Zero killed him.
Right.
And his heart restarted. If that is not something that, like, you can say kind of trumps you, I don't really know what else.
So now we're discussing their attack power. Who has the strongest, most powerful attack that deals the most damage? I'm looking at Naruto's Hail Beast Bomb Rasen Shuriken that we've seen against Sasuke when he was in the Kurama full tailed beast mode, and I'm looking at Luffy's Gear 5, the Bajran gun that literally grew his fist to the size of Onigashima, covered in Conqueror's Haki, covered in armament, using Ryuo. So it was going through Kaido's body. Who's dealing more AP? Who has more AP?
I think Biju bombs, as a scale of damage, do have a little bit more weight in the damage, right? The Biju bombs, we know the destructive capability can probably destroy Konoha. I would say Konoha is bigger than Onigashima, but I do think you have to also look at how are these attacks gonna affect the people they're going up against. If Luffy is turning into a cartoon character on fire while being hit with a blast breath, what do you think a Biju bomb is gonna do? I don't think it's gonna do anything. I feel like if Luffy grows to the size of Kurama, he could stop a Biju bomb.
With that Bajran gun, he would be able to get through Kurama's chakra cloak and get directly to Naruto with Ryuo. On the flip side, we've seen Naruto literally use the Biju bomb in conjunction with the Rasen Shuriken. And we know the Rasen Shuriken properties can destroy your body at a molecular level. Now, I think Luffy does have a counter to that. I think if Luffy is able to use the ground, because we've seen him literally ricochet Kaido's blast breath by ripping the ground up and turning it into rubber. And this could bounce Naruto's attacks back to him, and we know Naruto likes to fight from long range. But if those attacks do land on Luffy in Gear 5, it would be able to destroy his body at a molecular level.
I really don't think a Rasen Shuriken is going to hit Luffy. We've seen Luffy survive explosions and things of that nature. It would have to be a direct in-the-face hit, and I feel like it wouldn't even get to that level. I think it would maybe scathe him. He'd get caught with a couple shrapnels, but I still don't think it would do enough damage like it did to Kakuzu. If Luffy is pulling out a fist the size 4 times bigger than Kurama, he's gonna get hit. We haven't even seen if he can do that as a Gatling. I think I do have Luffy do more attack power. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a tricky subject to where
it's tough.
If you're looking at the damage it does to other people, then yes, maybe Naruto.
I have to give that to Naruto. But I think Luffy's the hacks, the abilities,
Mhm.
because again, it's going to be coded with Conquerors, and he's going to be using Ryuo.
Yeah.
So it's going to be going through the Kurama
And it's
code.
going to be damaging him on the inside. When it comes to damage to each other, I think Luffy's final move is going to do more damage to Naruto and probably stop Naruto's move.
In situations. Right. Situational, I'm saying Luffy. If you're talking about just Naruto versus Luffy, I think Luffy, as you're saying, does have a little bit more of an advantage because of the abilities. So now we got to talk about Naruto and Luffy. We have to compare their stamina. And I think stamina, we can talk about stamina in the sense of this is like your health bar. I think I'm giving this to Naruto. I think Naruto's regenerative capabilities with the Kurama Chakra mode, he'll be able to heal himself. And I think that the biggest thing that Naruto has over Luffy is his ability to use a massive amount of chakra and keep going. Naruto has so much chakra available to him, he is passing it out to his friends. He's passing it out to other people, allowing them to use his chakra. When you look at Luffy, Kaido defeated Luffy multiple times. And then once he was in his Gear 5 form, what happened? He got tired. He needed time to rest. When he was in Dressrosa boxing against Doflamingo, he needed time to rest with his Gear 4 form. Luffy can access Haki, but every now and then in his battles, he's gonna need 10 minutes or so to really replenish his Haki. I'm giving Naruto stamina.
It is kind of, you know, fair towards Naruto, absolutely. I do think when you talk about stamina though, I think it does bleed into a little bit of durability as well. But I do think that, yeah, Naruto has more stamina. I just would like to say that I think in Baryon mode, I think he does not.
Next up, we got to talk about who is physically stronger. So this is if you're taking Naruto's chakra away, if you're taking Luffy's devil fruit away, their physical strength feats. Now, we can say that Luffy was training with Garp against a ton of monkeys since he was a child. Luffy has incredible physical strength. Can we say the same for Naruto?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Rob. Even with Naruto's Kurama, if you look at physical strength besides like him using ninjutsu and just taijutsu with his physical strength, he still has not done nothing that crazy where like he has knocked somebody, oh, I don't know, through Onigashima. You know? Luffy's knocking out sea monsters episode 1. These are sea monsters that stop the Noah from falling. We're talking about Luffy getting stuck between 2 skyscrapers and just pushing them aside. What more can I say?
You got to give it to Luffy. Luffy is definitely physically stronger than Naruto. Now, you know, we got to talk about the speed, Jared.
Absolutely.
Everyone has been talking about Pacifista, Luffy dodging it with observation haki right as they entered into the new world. But then you also have feats like Naruto. Naruto boxing with Madara's Limbo clone. I mean, Madara, Ten Tails, Obito, Ten Tails, these are not slow opponents.
Absolutely.
They have access to
Especially
Sage of
dealing
Six
with
Paths
like my guy and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of that is insane as well. Even Kaguya, Momoshiki in terms of speed. Has Luffy shown us anything that can keep up with that?
There's kind of 2 different types of speed, right? Travel speed, how fast you can get from, say, a village to a village. And then I think you have to kind of look at reaction speed, or what I like to call speed, you know, up close speed. How fast can you dodge a punch? How fast can you dodge a laser beam?
Right.
Now, I will say that yes, I think Naruto does overall have better speed in a sense. I think he does have the better travel speed. But when it comes to reaction speed, I think when it comes to who has the better senses, who has the better combat, hand-on-hand dodging ability, I do think it's Luffy. Sasuke was severely giving this man the taijutsu problem, right? Now we know Sasuke is a little exception to some taijutsu users, especially with the Sharingan.
Right.
But I also think that when you think about other battles Naruto has fought, the taijutsu is almost like kind of basic in Naruto's sense. When you look at Luffy and Katakuri, Luffy with Kaido.
But those things are very, very future sight observation haki heavy, right? And those are things that I think Luffy's definitely gonna have to use against Naruto. I do see what you're saying in terms of reaction speed. Luffy does have some incredible feats as well, but I still think overall it has to go to Naruto. It's time to pick. If you had to take Naruto in his strongest form versus Luffy in his most powerful form, you have Gear 5 Luffy. Who are you taking?
Well, Rob, as you can see, I am only choosing the right answer. Monkey D. Luffy.
Wow.
Would take this battle. I think at the end of the day, you know, even though we know Naruto has all these extra power-ups and things in the back pocket, I do think he would still need to go into Baryon mode to defeat Luffy, and I think that is where he'll lose. Because if he doesn't, I still think Gear 5 will take it.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. I believe if they both start off in base, I'm giving it to Naruto Uzumaki. I believe battle of attrition is something that Naruto excels at. I think because he has an incredibly high chakra reserve, he will be able to stop Luffy before he gets into Gear 5. However, I think if the battle starts off with Luffy already in Gear 5 and Naruto's already in Kurama Chakra Mode 3, I'm leaning towards Monkey D. Luffy. The abilities, the fact that he can change the properties, the fact that if Naruto goes into his tailed beast mode, Luffy can use that as a jump rope. The fact that Luffy was running on air, the speed in Gear 5 is incredible. The fact that Luffy can really resize his fist and his foot to big castle-size, island-size level attacks.
I strongly disagree. I think even if they start out in base form, Luffy will still win. I think that Luffy is actually more than capable of hanging with Naruto in Gear 4, in Snake Man. I don't know if in base form, Naruto is nothing special as well. And even if he kills Luffy, that's when Gear 5 will be activated. The fruit will be awakened if he dies. I feel like Naruto, in my opinion, go in Baryon mode before Luffy has to go in Gear 5. I think Naruto will have to pull that out.
Hold on, Jared. Slow down a little bit because I think...
No, let's speed up. I think the nonsense has to stop. There comes to a point where we have to put some respect on Luffy's raw talent before he even has to pull out any hard stops.
Luffy, of course.
The observation.
But we can't ignore Naruto's ability to... If Luffy is knocked out and down for the count, Naruto has the opportunity to seal him.
But I only think that'll happen.
I don't think he can seal him in Gear 5. He can't seal him in Gear 5.
I only think that'll happen if he goes into Baryon mode. I don't think Naruto on his own will defeat Luffy until he pulls out all his stops. I think it is that close already before Gear 5. I always thought this. Snake Man by itself is going to give Naruto a hard enough trouble to where he is not going to defeat Luffy off rip.
Let me just clarify. You have Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy over Naruto as well.
I have Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy pushing Naruto to Baryon mode.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that up.
And that to me, and that's why I think it's so close. I think Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy is already strong enough. If you are getting hit with a Black Mamba and it's working, healing is only going to do so much before Luffy is already back on your tail flying towards you.
But Naruto can sense with the Kurama Chakra.
Yes, but not better than Luffy. Not better
Limbo clones. Limbo clones are boxing you from a different dimension.
Yes, I believe that when Luffy really goes on that full offensive, Naruto is going to have so many problems that it's gonna get out of control. Naruto was being overwhelmed by Jigen with straight taijutsu. You have to understand this is not like, you have to understand things are not this, like even if you take the strongest form of Naruto gets overwhelmed often by his enemies. And I just feel like, and it's not to say that Luffy's enemies don't put him through the ringer, but Luffy's enemies, Luffy can handle his enemies even before he pulls out Gear 4. I think when it comes to base, Luffy is hanging in there. The Conqueror's Rio that he's flying around on top of the roof with Kaido right now is already enough for me to be like, oh yes, he can hang with KCM.
But I'm with you. But I'm saying it's going to be a battle of attrition. When you're talking about a battle of attrition, that has to go to Naruto. That has to go to Naruto. That's why I'm at Gear 5. In Gear 5, he can stop him.
I think when it's a battle of attrition, I look at it like this. As Naruto goes into the first mode of KCM, Luffy's still in base. He's still in base. He's in Gear 2nd. Ryu is going to be destroying Naruto from the inside. Naruto by himself has never defeated an opponent with just sealing on his own. That's just not something he is adept at doing. Same thing with the Truth Seeker orbs. Naruto mostly relies on Kurama. And I think that is going to be the downfall. Because Luffy doesn't rely on nothing but these.
Right. Which is why I have Gear 5. I have Gear 5 Luffy. So you guys let us know down in the comment section below. Who are you taking? Are you taking Naruto or are you taking Luffy? And listen, this is our opinions on how the fights will go. Obviously, you have the Naruto power scalers, the One Piece power scalers. It's going to be going crazy. We already know what it is. Let us know your thoughts. Where did we go right? Where did we go wrong? And with that, we'll see you next time. Peace.